What's going on, my YouTube peeps? Fernando with Pro Windows, aka the Nandolorian, and today I'm gonna give you guys another how-to video on replacing your DI cartridges inside of your 40-inch RO carbon or DI housings. This process is going to apply to every single component, which is your ROs, your carbon, or your DIs down below. And it's a very simple process. Three tools you're going to require for this. One is going to be your socket to remove the bolts. And if I am not mistaken, this is a 5/16. I didn't bring those with me. We're not going to go through the actual removal process because these have been replaced recently, but I want to give you guys a little hands-on demonstration on how to remove it. Your second tool you're going to be needing is a flathead screwdriver. It can either be a long one or whatever you have available. Just make sure the flathead over here on this side is nice and thick. The thicker, the better. Don't use the thin ones because you can actually damage these end caps. And then lastly, you're going to want to use one of these toothpicks. These are available at Home Depot. They come in a variety of sets. I use these to pull out screens so I don't damage the frames. I just get underneath it, pull it in, and then pull the screen out. They work perfectly. Just be careful if you put these in your pockets because they will poke through and they can poke you on the thighs or depending what pocket you have it on. So be careful with these. So let's bring you up close to one of my DI filters, and I'm going to position this camera right there. So first off, we are going to want to remove the nut and bolt, loosening up this clamp that holds the end cap to the housing itself. So you're going to remove this, you're going to remove it completely and move it out the way. That's going to expose the connecting part that seats with the lip of your housing. Once you have removed this, you are going to look for a notch. It's a pretty noticeable rectangular notch that is either on the top or on the bottom, depending on how you position it. Once you expose that, another thing I forgot to mention as far as tools. You're also going to want to get these John Guest release toolkit. You can find this at Freshwater Systems, and they come in a variety of sizes. The ones you're going to be using with this system is this 1/2-inch one. This helps you remove these push fit fittings from this if you decide to go push fit. So you're going to do is just clamp it in there, push in on it, and then you're going to pull your hose out. This is under pressure, not a lot, but there is water leaking out. I'm not worried about it because my van is Lindex. So you remove it and get it out the way. I'm going to plug it back in just to keep that water from coming out. So after we remove the clamp, you are going to use your flathead screwdriver, and you're going to pop off on both sides. You're going to want to ease off on that, carefully bringing the cap backwards so you can be able to pull it out. The minute you pull out this cap, I'm going to move you guys away now. Get myself in the frame here real quick. So the minute you pull off the cap from the filter you are replacing, move everything out the way. If you have to, you can remove other hoses that might be in the way so when you pull your filter out. This is a key point to remember when installing your filters. I know not all vans and not all setups are going to have the access, especially like the smaller transit vans. We just did a build recently up in the valley area, and there was not enough space for me to put them in a position where they can easily just swap out the tank. So what they are going to have to do is they're going to actually have to unmount the housing to pop off the filter. But the replacement is easy, and the DI replacement is going to be $300 a year or less, depending on your TDS levels in your area. So we get in there, we remove the cap. After we remove the cap, you want to be careful with I'll show you guys, I have a spare filter here for reference. You want to be careful with this cap here. So let's pretend this is the one that's sitting inside of this filter. You're going to be looking at this end. What you want to do is you want to get in there and you want to put your ice pick and pull on it, different angles. Be careful not to damage that pad, that white pad that's inside. And you're going to want to pull out on it. The minute you have loosened it up and you're able to pull it out, what you're going to do is you're going to grab it and you're going to pull it right out. Pull it out. Now you have an empty housing. This is why I recommend you guys purchase an additional housing. So prior to coming and removing the DI, you pre-build or pre-fill a empty insert with brand new DI resin, seal it up with your electrical tape, make sure it's waterproof, and come out here, take it apart, swap it out, pull your old one out, and put your new one back in. Seal everything back up, lock it up nice and tight, put your hoses back in, make sure everything's nice and snugged, and test it. I recommend that you start at a low volume so the water can filter up and fill up every single square inch that's inside of this housing, and then test your water, and that should bring you straight down to 0 TDS, like I said. Now, that's the process. There's another video previous to this that shows you how to replace the resin inside of your actual cartridge and how to seal it and how to prepare it with the new seals. These seals are no good. We're going to be replacing these, and I explain this on the other videos. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding this, feel free to ask me. There's only so much I can teach you guys about the system. You know, custom installations in California, I do them myself if the purchaser wants me to install them for them. It is a little complicated process when it comes to electrical and wiring, and it can get confusing with all the plumbing that you have on this stuff. But if you're familiar with it, then you'll have no problem installing it yourself. If you're out of state and you want to install one, but you don't know how to, and you actually want me to assist you, I do provide a Venmo code where you can send me a donation, and I will virtually assist you with how to prepare your end caps prior to installation, what components you're going to need to mount it on whatever surface you're going to be putting it inside your vehicle, van, or truck, and then the layout of your pumps, the actual wiring. They do send you a basic diagram of how everything is plumbed together, you know, from your pump to your carbon, from your carbon up into your ROs, out your ROs into your tank, from your tank to your DIs, and so forth. Now, the custom installation services, like I said, I'm available for California and maybe Arizona, if depending on the amount of installations I need to do. I can probably travel for that. The reason I don't do installations and ship them out is because it can get very expensive. These things are heavy when packaged all in one versus purchasing a kit and getting everything in one box without everything installed. So we want to keep the costs down, and that's it. Now, I'm going to make another separate video talking about the whole system itself. This is pretty much just telling you how to replace your DI, your carbon, your RO, whichever you want. That's going to be the same process for every single one. Like I said, make sure you hit that like button on these videos, share the videos with your friends, with people that you think might be interested, share them on the Facebook pages, let them know what's available. This is a system that I'll be talking on the next video on the performance and why I decided to go this route. Until next time, Nandolorian out. Peace out.